Black officer vindicated 15 years after stopping colleague from placing man in a chokehold. This is from April 14th, 2021. The writer is Isha C. Gilbert. It's from USA Today. As a conversation about excessive force by police sweeps the nation, one former police officer has been vindicated 15 years after she was terminated for forcibly removing a white officer who placed a handcuffed black man in a chokehold. Cariol Horne, a former Buffalo police officer, was fired, faced departmental charges, and left without pension after the 2006 incident, according to the New York Times. On Tuesday, the New York Supreme Court vacated an earlier ruling from 2010 that affirmed her firing. Horne is now entitled to back wages, benefits, and enough credit to receive her pension. To her credit, Officer Horne did not merely stand by, but instead sought to intervene, despite the penalty she ultimately paid for doing so. Justice Dennis Ward wrote in the state court's decision, while the Eric Gardners and George Floyds of the world never had a chance for a do-over, at least here, the correction can be done. USA Today has reached out to Horne for a comment. In November 2006, Horne, who is black, responded to a call of a colleague in need of help. A woman had accused her ex-boyfriend, David Neal Mack, of stealing her Social Security check for $626, the Buffalo News reported. While attempting to take Mack into custody, a struggle ensued, and Horne saw the white officer put Mack into a chokehold. When Horne heard the handcuffed man say he couldn't breathe, she forcibly removed the white officer. The officer and Horne were then seen throwing punches at each other in the driveway of Mack's home, according to witnesses and police. The Buffalo News interviewed at the time of the incident. "We must act now." House passes police reform bill named for George Floyd. The white officer, Gregory Katakowski, was cleared of any wrongdoing in the incident and would later go on to successfully sue Horne for defamation, winning a $65,000 judgment. For real? My goodness. He would later be sentenced 4 months in prison in an unrelated 2009 case involving 4 black teenagers. He was convicted of deprivation of rights under the color of law. Lieutenant Kia Kowalski used unlawful and unreasonable force to each of the 4 occupants, a release from the Western District of New York U.S. Attorney Office said at the time. Horne was reassigned after altercation and later fired in 2008. 1 year before the 20-year mark, she needed to receive her full pension. She tried for many years to have the decision overturned to no avail. In her fight, Horne received local support that led to the Buffalo Common Council adopting Carroll's Law, which created a duty for an officer to intervene when observing force he or she is reasonably believes to be clearly beyond that which is objectively reasonable. The law was passed on September 29th of 2020. Tuesday's ruling comes in the heels of the Derek Chauvin case, where the prosecution and the defense continues to argue if a 9-minute chokehold led to the death of George Floyd. And it did. "I can't breathe," were the words George Floyd said to officers, a phrase that became a mantra used for people protesting his death last spring in cities around the country. They are also the words of a man Horne stopped the chokehold on many years ago. "My vindication comes at a 15-year cost, but what has been gained could not be measured," she said in a statement to the New York Times. "I never wanted another police officer to go through what I had gone through for doing the right thing." And no police officer should have to go through anything that they see or encounter another officer doing. But unfortunately, you have this blue line, this blue wall that they say that just as long as they don't get each other in trouble, everything is fine. They can do whatever they want to the black population because they do not treat the white population this way. Let's be honest, they do not. And just as long as that face and that body is black, they don't have any problems with being as evil and as spiteful and as forceful as they could possibly be. No matter what the issue is. The issue could be very minor. And they want to use the most force and use all that anger from the day or yesterday or whenever and put it out on that black body. And you have other officers that sit here, haven't touched a soul, haven't done anything, but has seen a whole lot of things and will not open their mouths. But then in return, you want me to consider you as a hero and as a productive citizen and a productive officer. You're expecting that out of nothing. Our first problem is to understand that you have a whole lot of people with a whole lot of mental issues in these police forces. And unfortunately, that's what they like. The more unhinged, the better. I'm tired of people treating real life like it's a movie. Like people can just yell cut and stuff just undoes itself. I'm sick of people trying to make excuses for their evilness. I'm getting tired of people not standing up for something that they see and they notice wrong because they're so scared that they're going to get in trouble themselves. You can't even do the right thing. And then you have all these other people that keep talking about black on black crime. Black on black crime, black on black crime, black on black. Well, if y'all wouldn't hurt each other. Okay, so that gives you an excuse to hurt us because we hurt each other. And please don't act like white on white crime doesn't exist. Let's please not act like Hispanic on Hispanic crime doesn't exist. And please let's not act like Asian on Asian crime does not exist. This is an excuse that people would like that people say to make their being aggressive and crazy mean to black people as an excuse. Well, you do that to yourself, so why can't we do it to you? How does that sound? How does that sound? So I don't want to hear anything else about black on black crime. Police officers have the archetype of protectors. That's what most of them used to have on their cars, to protect and serve. And unfortunately, that ain't what's going on. They're protecting themselves and they're serving themselves and businesses and the government that they say they love so much. But it wasn't that way on January the 6th, though. You had an officer that died. He was sprayed with bear mace and had his eyes nearly gouged out. And that man died the next day. I'm going to say his name, Officer Sicknick. He died. You got video now after the trial's over with and after the coroner says, oh, he died of natural causes. How you just going to die of natural causes when you got beat up the day before and sprayed with bear mace? How's that natural? But see, these are the rules and the little pieces and the cracks that are not being told. They're not being showed until later. So they're going to allow these people that killed this man, they're going to allow them to get off because he said natural causes. But now that ruling has been put out that it is natural causes, now all of a sudden you're seeing videos of, hey, pass me the bear mace. Pass the mace. Pass the bear shit. That's what that man was saying before they beat up this man. And there's so much accountability that's not being had here. It's sickening. Everybody want to act like they're in a movie. Everybody want to act like that they're Dirty Harry or whatever white person y'all saw in the movie theater and thought was the coolest thing in this world. No. And we are actually people. We have lives and we have families. And it's really sickening when you hear these people feel about us behind closed doors. And yes, I'm talking about black officers too. Some of them that don't understand, some of them that are so close to so many white officers, they don't do nothing but kiss ass all day. Now, officers like this one, Cariol Horne, officers like this should never be put into a kind of predicament like this. You would think that these people did the same training you did. These people did the same stuff that you did. They took the same oath that you did. But then they get to act like this and then they get off. And this officer didn't even get fired. Cariol Horne did after 2 years and 1 year shy of her pension. Like, that's evil. That's beyond evil. You didn't fire her right then. You didn't fire her in 2006. You waited till she was 1 year from retirement to screw her over. While this other cop gets promoted. And he got another chance to victimize 4 people the next time when he actually really got caught about it. Ain't no telling who he was harassing until then. Ain't no telling. So now he's been put in jail for 4 years, like that means anything. For accosting 4 people. And they're black again. Oh. How come we could have guessed it? Could have made a better judgment on it. They're black, as usual. And we let these people get by. And then we sit here and we wonder why. Well, why does this keep happening? Well, why do they keep doing this? And why do they keep doing it? Because you're allowing it to happen. And the people that sit up in those offices, those high-ranking officers, your judges, your DAs, your attorney generals are glad to have this to go on. And they will be more than happy to cover up because they don't value us. We are nothing to these people. Let's be honest. We are nothing but problems to them. You see how many white people that have gone out here and done absolute mass shootings, but yet get to go home, get to breathe. They get to live. No harm done. Get taken to Burger King. Make sure they get the little bulletproof vest. And then when you officers like David Chauvin, when you do something wrong and you do get caught for it, you got more of the same racist cops that say they love you so much to sit here and defend you and cover you. You people are sickening. And I cannot wait until all this is over. Can't wait till all of this is said and done. Because you people should not be the head and the leaders of anything. You can't even get this virus right. But you want to sit here and police people come into their homes with no search warrant. And this search warrant thing, that's another thing that pisses me off too. The no-knock search warrants. Like, how do y'all expect that to really go down? You come in 5, 6, 10, 20 officers deep. You knocking on doors, windows, and nobody's not saying anything. And you don't think that the people inside are not going to think that they're getting ready to get robbed or something like that. The last thing that's on their mind is, oh, it's cops at the door. That's the last thing on these people's minds. Y'all don't do nothing but a whole bunch of entrapment. And it's sad. And that shows that you don't have enough stuff, a crime that's going on in your face. You got to make it up. You got to make up crime. But you got all these other white folks out here doing all these kind of crimes, hitting people, hurting people, killing people, stealing from people, and nothing gets done with these folks. Because Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment if you like. You let them off. You give them light sentences and you don't hold them at all.